She is a global phenomenon. Katy Perry has sold more than 40 million albums, 125 million singles. She's the most followed person in the world on Twitter, and now she's back in Australia on tour. Katy Perry is celebrating 10 years in the spotlight, 10 years of hits.
Unconditionally, I will love you unconditionally.
10 years of topping charts and breaking records. Katy is an all-time Sunrise favourite.
20 degrees with a morning shower or 2 for Hogwarts.
She's performed for us at the iconic Sydney Opera House. Last year, she co-hosted our show.
Guys, I know how to read a prompter.
Yeah?
It's hard.
Give it away.
Oh.
No, we've been telling the bosses it's really hard for you.
Yeah. And now she's back in Australia for the final leg of her Witness tour. Last night she completed her second concert in Perth, ahead of shows in Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney. And Katy Perry joins me now from Perth. Katy Perry, it is so good to see you again. Welcome back to Sunrise.
Oh, thank you. It's lovely to see you as well for our once-a-year check-in.
Yes, and we love our once-a-year check-ins. I think we've done about 5 so far. But, hey, look, you started this tour last September. It's 2 hours of absolute manic performance, 100 shows. How are you feeling?
I'm coming up to the finish line. I have saved the best for last, Australia and New Zealand. 16 shows in total. And I would be lying if I didn't say I wasn't a little bit tired. But on the bright side, I am a well-oiled machine. And I'm just very excited to be in Australia.
Look, tell me about your fitness regime. How do you keep up the energy? You've got to be incredibly fit to get through the meat pies.
I'm looking for meat pies still, continually. I am somewhat fit. I do a lot of yoga, and the show, you know, is a cardio sport of 2 hours, 3 times a week, so that keeps me fit. But a lot of times you'll find me, even in Australia in the winter, bicycling to the venue. So if you see Katy Perry on a bike, that is correct. You've just seen Katy Perry on a bike.
Look, we've loved having you here on Sunrise. You've co-hosted the show, the weather segment that you did and trying to pronounce those names is still one of our most viewed clips on YouTube. Nothing seems to scare you at all.
Sorry.
You feel us.
Yeah, I mean, I am just a lover of life and adventure, and I'll try anything once. How about that?
Well, I think that's why you inspire so many people, because you give everything a go. And speaking of doing something different, you're now an American Idol judge. You've just completed season 1. There's another one in the works. How special has it been to make other singers' dreams come true?
It's been incredible. I didn't think I would love it as much as I do. I'm completely invested in the participants, and I didn't know that we were going to find such incredible talent. So we unearthed many, many, many amazing stars that are now on tour. And one of my favorite girls, Maddie Poppy, she won. And I think it's just a great way to give all this information and knowledge on the music industry and experience, and to be able to share that in a real meaningful way to kids and to make their dreams come true. I mean, when I'm watching them and they're telling me their stories, it's reminding me of where I came from and kind of revitalizing me and reminding me of how amazing this journey has been.
Yeah, what's your best bit of advice, the key bit of advice that you give to these young superstars in the making of trying to handle fame, if you like?
Well, I mean, good luck if they get the fame. They have to just get there in the first place. I think in order to, you know, get all the attention, you have to have a real authentic thing that you're serving with your music, with your message, with your presentation. You know, it has to be different than so many of the people that exist. And so, you know, a lot of people come in there singing karaoke style songs, sounding like having a voice that sounds like someone else. And it's like, well, that's wonderful and you sound great, but we already have that person. So you really need to have a unique delivery, texture, message, presentation. It's got to be the full package.
Yeah, and you've got to be tough because everyone thinks it's so glamorous. They forget about the ups and downs, the peaks and the troughs. That interview you did with Vogue was really revealing, I thought, and very honest. You talked about suffering situational depression, public reaction to albums, and it breaks your heart at times. How do you keep your head up?
Well, it's just like, you know, exercising your body. You have to every day work on your health and wellness, on your mental health. That's very important for me. And, you know, the definition of success for me personally is just well-being and happiness every day and consistently to have several days of that. I think that, you know, it's important for all of us to have this conversation because I think a lot of people will feel this way. And when they hear other people talking about it, they don't feel so alone in their situation. So, yeah, in some ways, a lot of things look glamorous on the outside, but that is life. When you get to the bottom of it, sometimes it's not as glamorous, and it's real life. You know, just because we live this larger than life doesn't mean we're exempt from anything else that's going on. Sometimes it's just even it's under a microscope. Like, for instance, I don't always do, you know, the right thing, or sometimes I put my foot in my mouth accidentally, and millions of people get to experience it or see it, and they're like, "Oh, Katie." So it's like I have so many moms and dads.
Yeah, you're normal. That's what everyone loves about you. And you must have a great support network. In that same interview, you talked about reconnecting with divinity. You met the Pope earlier this year.
Yeah.
How special was that experience?
Well, you know, I've always been connected with God, and that's always been really important for me, you know, to believe in something bigger than myself and to have that accountability. It's amazing, you know, that you can not be as connected, but when you do decide, it's just like so loud and proud. And I just am just so grateful. I have a lot of gratitude and a lot of compassion and for people, and I see, you know, the Pope has a lot of compassion. Yeah. He means what he says, and he's really all about the people, and I kind of relate to him in that way, just being all about the people. And I never really put my communication and connection with God on mute. It was just like, it was just not as a priority as it is now.
Yeah, and Mum and Dad must be very happy about that. The wild child has returned to the fold, being ministers.
Well, I wouldn't label it necessarily as that. I think I'm continually a seeker, and I'm a believer in a lot of interfaith. And I don't really have a label that I've put upon myself, but I think that they're encouraged that I'm open, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily put myself in a box, Mom and Dad.
Oh, you've got to be a good daughter.
Yeah, I'm a great daughter. I'm like the matriarch of the family.
That is fantastic. Hey, Nat, tell us about the tour. What can...
Whether I like it or not.
Yeah. That's always the burden of a child with an older child with their parents. You've got to get to that stage. Hey, tell us about the tour. What can fans expect this time around?
Well, I mean, it's always larger than life. I bring the most. I am always doing the absolute most for my audience, and I'm just excited to be in Australia once again, which has been such a big believer in me from, day one over 10 years. And yes, I try and top myself every single time, but it is a visual and audible feast for the eyes and ears. And it's super weird and goofy and fun. Like, I'm not your typical, kickball change pop star. I'm kind of the oddball.
Yeah. You always have been, always will be. But away from that larger-than-life stage presence with the makeup and the costume, what's your favourite thing outside of entertaining that you actually do? What do you love doing?
Well, when we're on tour, we're experiencing everything. If you go on my social media, you'll see, I was just in Johannesburg in South Africa days ago on a safari, so wow. Even though they're very abbreviated experiences, like 2.5 days or 1 day, I mean, all the times that I've been in Australia and New Zealand, I'm either jumping off a bridge, climbing a bridge, eating all of your food, petting, koalas and kangaroos, going deep cave worm, glowworm diving. I mean, I'm doing the most.
You're making the most of life. It is just wonderful.
So it's never just like a chill and order room service situation. Rare occasions.
Good. Glad to hear it. Katy Perry, welcome back to Australia. Enjoy the rest of the tour.
Thank you for having
just
me.
finishing Perth, and the rest of the country can't wait to see you. Safe travels.
Excited to see you all. See you soon.
See you. Katy Perry's next concert is in Adelaide on Saturday. She has 3 shows there before she heads to Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney. All the dates and the ticket details are on the Sunrise website. I've seen about the last 3 shows she's been out here. Do yourself a favour. It is a great experience.